So a kitchen is a great example for me. Like, I rarely feel comfort when I go in my kitchen.
Oh.
Like, it's always like, because I do not enjoy cooking. Um, but one thing that does make me feel good is if I have my recipe book holder and I have a recipe book open to my favorite recipe. I won't be necessarily making that recipe all the time, but it triggers that memory of nostalgia, like, oh, the cinnamon roll, I love it, and the scents. Or maybe it's like banana bread is always my go-to favorite recipe to make, and it reminds me of my grandmother, and just it's just my favorite food in the whole world. And so like even just having that page open, even though it takes up more countertop space, it still it triggers a memory and then puts me in an automatic good mood.
Welcome to Reframe and Reclaim. We are Courtney Huckabee, a psychotherapist,
and Jen Harris, an interior designer who have teamed up
to reflect,
challenge,
and reframe your mindset in relationship with your personal belongings.
Join us as we discuss and declutter all of the stuff that keeps us stuck.
Learn to intentionally create environments with improved function and design that cultivate peace of mind. Find the reframe.
Start your reclaim.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Reframe and Reclaim. I'm Jen Harris.
And I'm Courtney Huckabee.
And today, I know we've been talking a lot about fall, but it is my favorite. And today we're going to talk about the coziness of fall and the coziest spot in your home. So Courtney, for you, what is the coziest place in your home?
This one is so hard for me because I love my bedroom. I love my bed. It's so cozy and comfortable. But it's not a place where like I get to like sit and be with people. And so the coziest place in my home when I'm like, being with people would probably have to be my living room. I know. It's like and the reason so is we have these really wonderful couches.
Big oversized sofas, yeah.
Like the couch itself is like a twin size bed, but extra long. And so I get to cuddle with my little boy or my dogs or my husband. And we can fit lots of people in our living room for seating. So even if it's not cuddling up with somebody, we can definitely have lots of family and friends over for hosting. So I would say my living room. What about for you? What's the coziest, most comfortable place in your home for you?
So we recently bought a new sofa, and it has a cuddle corner.
Oh.
And so it's kind of like an oversized chair and a half on the end of a sectional. You can sit two people pretty comfortably, but it's right next to our fireplace. And so I feel like it makes a really cozy spot right there. And, the kids can pile on. And it's just a really long sofa, too. It's funny, sofas are our thing right now.
Yes.
And it's extra long, so we can all fit on it. I can actually nap on it, which is exciting.
Have you napped on it yet?
I have, and it's lovely. But part of it is, you can't tell by the video, but I am tall. I'm 5'9.5", and so since I've purchased my own sofa. So this is my own doing. I get it. But like I've had curved sofas, I've had short sofas because of spaces I've been in. And so anytime I would take a nap, I'd have to curl up, or my feet would hang off,
comfy.
or my neck would be like this, on a pillow. Be all
cozy.
All turned to the side. So I'm really excited to have a sofa that I can happily fall asleep in whenever the climactic part of an action movie comes on. Because my family will tell you, I will stay awake for all the talking, all the plot, and as soon as the climactic battle scene happens, I'm out.
But the battle scene happens after the storyline's been made, and then it's almost at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
so you make it most of the way through.
The good guy wins, so I don't need to see.
Yeah. And if you have a cozy couch like you have, it's hard not to fall asleep.
Yeah, and then you get a good power nap that lasts 20 minutes of the movie, and then you're all good to go.
So I'm hearing like a space that's comfortable, not just to fit the space, but to fit you.
Yes.
And I love that because, a lot of times we're more focused on the aesthetic of a space. How does it look rather than how do I feel in it? Or like it looks really beautiful, but I can't touch anything. Or, it looks nice, but it's not a comfortable place to sit or be. So I love that you've created something for your new home.
Yes.
That is aesthetically pleasing to you, functions, which is
Number
super,
one.
super important,
Yep.
but also is comfortable for you. I love that.
Yes.
And a really important thing in our home is blankets. So, we have like this like row of blankets that we store. I think there's like a built-in entertainment center of sorts in our home. I don't know what they would use these spaces for, but we use them for rolling up blankets. So if you come over and you're chilled, grab a blanket. There's 12 to choose from. And so we love that because then everybody gets their own blanket. You get the color you want. You get the comfort and the softness you want. You don't have to share. If you want to share, you can. But there's enough to go around for everybody. And that's another part of like everybody gets to have something that they feel comfortable in.
And then our sofa, we have one giant family-sized blanket
Really?
that we can all fit under. Yeah.
That's fun. So you can cut it all together.
We just cut, yeah, it's big enough where you can lay underneath it. And yeah, it's the size of the sofa.
So thinking of our coziest places in our homes, which, again, the fall is a time for the cooler weathers, the slower days, the earlier nights. It's going to get a little calmer in your home. How can we like create other spaces in our home that can, fit you, but also fit the function?
Well, I think, as you're thinking of your own home, think of what makes this space cozy for me. Is it that feeling? Is it a smell? Is it something that I really love, a picture, or is it a color? Like, what is it about the space that makes it feel cozy to me? Maybe it's a combination of things. And so then I think you try and incorporate those same elements into other spaces in your home. So if it's, the cozy blanket, do you have another blanket in a different room that you can snuggle up with? If it's a beautiful plant, can you put plants in another room? Or maybe it's you go into another room and it's cluttered, and by actually removing items, it's going to make you feel more comfortable. So there's lots of different ways you can bring in different aesthetics and have it flow to other rooms. If it's a color from a piece of artwork that you can't really move, maybe it's bringing in that same color palette on a pillow, or again in another blanket. Because pillows are the stickers of your home, so you can paste those around and change it up. But I think those are some really simple ways to get that aesthetic flowing through your whole home.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and I love that you talk about scents. Because like if I'm in a different mood, like I have an oil diffuser. I do have some scented soy candles and things. But like it depends on my mood, like what scent I want. And so, if it's summertime or something, or springtime, I may want a citrusy scent. If it's fall or winter, I may want a warmer or, a heavier scent. And so I love the fact that it doesn't just have to be a physical thing like a blanket or a big couch. But, there is a thing called the psychology of color. And I don't know if you've heard of that, being an interior designer. But also, like, what are the colors that you want in your home that bring cheerfulness, if that's a cozy place for you, or calmness, or deep thought? You can kind of create a mood in a space too.
For sure. And it doesn't have to be, again, like a big, you don't have to paint your entire wall a color. You can bring in a piece of artwork or an accessory to do that just as easily.
Yeah. So, as we're thinking about this, I'm like, I love my bedroom because my bed is super comfortable. And it's the comfort that makes it cozy. But, maybe there's some other things that I can do in other parts of my house that I would feel more cozy. And not that I have to have a blanket in every room, but if I'm in that room for function, like the kitchen for a function, or if I'm in, the pantry for a function, how can I feel more calm and comforted in that space?
So a kitchen is a great example for me. Like, I rarely feel comfort when I go in my kitchen. Like, it's always like, because I do not enjoy cooking. But one thing that does make me feel good is if I have my recipe book holder and I have a recipe book open to my favorite recipe, I won't be necessarily making that recipe all the time, but it triggers that memory of nostalgia, like, oh, the cinnamon roll, I love it, and the scents. Or maybe it's like banana bread is always my go-to favorite recipe to make, and it reminds me of my grandmother, and it's just my favorite food in the whole world. And so like even just having that page open, even though it takes up more countertop space, it triggers a memory and then puts me in an automatic good mood, or like putting a tea towel out that is reflective of my mood. So like another space is my bathroom. Like I don't really feel great. I mean,
it's for
we know what we do in the bathroom.
Brushing your teeth, washing your hands, all the things you gotta do. But to me,
that's a place where scent is really important.
Yeah.
So having a diffuser in the bathroom makes me feel better about that space. So.
And I will say, the bathroom, that's a private space for everybody. But there's some people in my home who love really bright lights, and it helps them feel alert and awake and cheerful and, all those things. And for me, first thing in the morning or even at night as I'm like rolling down, like trying to like decompress after my day, I don't want super bright lights. So we have dimmable lights, which has been a good compromise in my home, that depending on the time of day, you can dim it or you can, brighten it up. And that in itself can create some mood or some cheerfulness, some coziness.
Lighting is a great way to change the feel of a room. I mean, that's like when I wake up, the first thing I do is open all the windows to get some light in, right? Just help my body wake up, help me acclimate to the light. And the same thing at night, toning it down to help you calm your mind. So
and I will say in my kitchen, I do cook a lot. I do host a lot. I'm in the kitchen, usually I'm in the kitchen unless I'm cozy, cuddled on the couch or going to sleep or getting ready for bed in the bathroom. All those areas get used a lot in my home, but I love flowers, and so they don't have to be super expensive or super extravagant, but my husband and my son both know I love flowers, and so we actually usually have flowers in our kitchen, and I really love that just on the countertop, and that creates a little bit more of that if I'm going to be doing the dishes or if I'm going to be cleaning or packing lunches or making dinner or meal prepping, I feel a little bit more cozy and kind of happy doing that when I have flowers to look at.
Well, I love that too, because it's like you're doing a service to them by making lunch and they're showing appreciation by flowers on the counter.
Yeah,
so I love that.
It's really sweet. It's become kind of a tradition. We go to the grocery store and you pick up some flowers for Mom, and so and then I will cook your food you pick up. Nice. But I do think, again, talking about coziness, what's cozy to you may not be cozy to others, but really speaking about that, whether it's the dimmable lights or do you have a big cozy blanket you all cuddle with, or does everyone get their own, or especially if you have kids, like what helps them feel comfortable and cozy in their space. And that can help them to have, a little bit more of that identity in their space, but also feel as though they're safe in their space and not waking you up at night.
Yes, very important. Well, let us know what your coziest space is and how you continue that coziness throughout your home, whether it's an scent, if it's in an object that you put in the room, or if it's taking objects out. So we'd love to hear your feedback. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Leave a comment below. That is really the best way for the algorithm to help spread our message and get our mission out there to just help people reframe how they think about their objects in their homes to reclaim the functionality and peace of mind in their spaces. So, hope you have a great one.